After 6 long years, my dad showed up at the door, asking for a second chance. Did we make the right decision? I'm 16, and for most of my life, it's been just me and my mom. Dad left us 6 years ago, disappearing without a trace after he cheated on mom with some younger woman he met on a dating website. He didn't just leave physically, he abandoned us emotionally. I remember the day he walked out. He left behind nothing but a broken family and a pile of unanswered questions. Since then, it's been a constant struggle. Mom's mental health deteriorated, and I took on responsibilities way beyond my years. I worked part-time jobs and tried to keep our household together, all while watching Mom spiral deeper into her own world. It wasn't easy, but I was determined to make it work. I even started saving up to move out and get some independence. Last Saturday, I was working my shift at the restaurant when I got a call from Mom. Her voice was shaky as she said, "You need to come home. Your dad's here." I thought I'd misheard her. Dad? After all these years? I rushed home, my heart racing. When I walked through the door, there he was, older, with a weary look, but unmistakably him. He stood awkwardly in the living room, his eyes searching mine for some sign of forgiveness. "I know it's been a long time," he began, his voice hesitant. "I'm sorry for everything. I made a terrible mistake, and I've finally realized how much I've hurt you both. I want to make things right, I want to be in your life." I was stunned, but I couldn't let my emotions show. I asked him to explain why he'd come back now, after so long. He said he'd been living with regret and finally realized that he couldn't live with himself anymore. He wanted to reconnect, to try and fix what was broken. Mom was silent, her face a mask of conflict. She'd been so hurt by his betrayal that I wasn't sure if she was ready to let him back into our lives. I decided to give them space to talk and went to my room, shortly after my dad had left, giving my mom some time to think about it. Surely she wasn't going to let this sorry excuse for a man back into our lives after leaving us for so long, right? Later that night, I pulled out this old box hidden in the back of my closet. Inside were memories of our family before Dad left, happy times, vacations, and love letters from Dad to Mom. As I went through them, I wondered how differently my life would be had my dad not left and wondering if things might be different this time. The next morning, Dad showed up, pleading for a second chance. He insisted he'd changed, ready to go to therapy and make amends. Mom was caught between her deep hurt and a glimmer of hope. I told her I didn't think letting him back into our lives was wise after everything he'd done. He didn't get to do that after what he had did to us. Mom was torn, but she seemed to agree with me. He tried to give us a hug and said he'd stay in touch and won't stop to make it right. Did we make the wrong decision and not accept him back?